What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back again with another classic WoW Season of Mastery video. This video itself will be more based on World of Warcraft in general, and we are going to be talking about botting, and we have some new information. Well, it's actually not new, but it's a post on Reddit that we'll take a look at, where we can get Wowhead's founder and his perspective on why Blizzard will not ban the bots. But first, a word from my sponsor. Opera GX is a special version of the Opera browser, built specifically for gamers. The browser includes unique features like CPU, RAM and network limiters to help you get the most out of your gaming and browsing. With the help of GX Control, you can enhance performance on your PC while gaming, with your browser open, and get rid of lag while playing games, and listening to music or watching streams and videos. It is perfect when you want to keep many tabs open, not to lose them, but you also don't want your browser to hurt your gaming performance. The panel also lets users limit the CPU or RAM that they are willing to let their browsers use. There is also a network limiter which limits the bandwidth used by the Opera GX browser to gain performance in games and streams. You can customize your Opera GX browser based off your needs with light or dark modes and custom backgrounds, and the accents in Opera GX are inspired by neon lights and how they break the darkness of the night. You can customize the browser with particular themes, wallpapers and colors. Stay up to date with free games that they actively search for and select them personally, and often they find real gems. You can find the best deals, the newest releases and breaking gaming news all in one easily accessible place. You can easily switch between platforms and also see the upcoming games in the release calendar. Opera GX is also on mobile, GX Mobile, and it can be connected to the desktop version. Opera GX is hands down the best browser for gamers in my opinion, and I would recommend it to everyone. Opera GX is free to download, and you can get it right now by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment. So I've been making a lot of botting videos for Season of Mastery, as well as back in Classic WoW as well, and for TBC Classic. I've been making a lot of videos on botting, because this is a problem that I'm really interested in for World of Warcraft in general. I'm really interested in the botting perspective, and I'm also really interested in why Blizzard are not banning them. I'm doing what I can to help them make it easier for Blizzard to actually identify and ban these bots, and I'm trying to shine a light on the problem, but the more I look into this, the more apparent it becomes that Blizzard does not care, even in the slightest, about botting. They know about it, they know how they operate, and they actually just don't care. There's someone in the higher ups in the management that is deciding to allow botting in the game itself for monetary reasons. So in this video we'll take a look at that post. I will read you the entire thing, and yeah, let's just go through that right now. So on Reddit, or Classic WoW Reddit, there was a post. This is actually 1 year ago by now, but it's still very relevant, and someone sent this to me on Discord very recently, and I have to say, this pretty much backs up my theory about botting in Classic WoW or World of Warcraft in general, and it backs up my theory about why Blizzard are not doing anything about it. So here we go. This is not a technical issue with Blizzard. This is a management decision to allow bots in the game. It is estimated that 20% of all World of Warcraft subscriptions are actually bots. This is due to an interview material of large bot farmers who alone had 400,000 accounts, as well as extrapolating sales from the company that purchased Wowhead and Thoughtbot and etc. For those not in the know, actually you don't need to read that one. So we know Blizzard purposefully allows bots because of one simple fact. 2 easy changes would decimate almost all bots, I want to say 95% of them, and Blizzard refuses to do so. Number 1, the top 3 botting softwares require Lua unlockers to function. A Lua unlocker gives any WoW client access to GM level client APIs, application programming interface. An API is a software intermediary that allows 2 applications to talk to each other. These APIs are unlocked now and enable add-ons to be creative to fully automate gameplay. Blizzard could easily remove these APIs from the client, but they refused to do so. They used to have these back in the day because we had GM servers and the GM Island, the very famous GM Island, and in-game GMs as well, but let me know if you've seen any in-game GMs lately. I don't see any reason why they would have these APIs in the game anymore. I get that they used to be there before, but they shouldn't really be there now. Number 2, teleport hacking used to farm minerals, instances, and raids could be easily dealt with by monitoring excessive changes to player XYZ coordinates. Once detected, actions could be taken. Private servers do this simply and easily by database checks of characters' positioning and their positioning changes. Blizzard refuses to implement this. So, for example, in Classic WoW, we had the bots that were flying in Sullivan, and right now in Season of Mastery, we have bots that are flying in Dire Maul as well, and they are basically manipulating their Y-axis to be able to fly. We had the same in TBC as well, where bots were flying to make it to like specific dungeons where you had to have flying, and they would make it to those dungeons without having flying, so they just manipulate their Y-axis to get up there. The above 2 changes are incredibly simple and low-cost changes to implement. Blizzard refuses to do so purposefully, and they do so as these changes would cause a massive loss of revenue. Instead, Blizzard has made pandering changes to give the appearance of caring. The instance lockout was strategically done to increase bot subscriptions and give a speaking point to make it seem as they care. Basically, they would make less profit per bot account, but they could still have more bot accounts, and they could make more profit overall. But by implementing this and saying it was to restrict the botting and the amount of bots that were able to farm stuff inside dungeons, they make it look like they are trying to fix the issue, when in fact they are doing the exact opposite. They are making it so they look like they're doing something good, but instead they are making more money by introducing more bots to the game itself, just because they're making a little bit less profit for every single bot. It's the same with the multi-boxing change. They stated it was to curb bots, yet almost zero bots softwares use the multi-box. Instead, they all use Lua Unlocked based automation. Also, attaching a legal note right here, the above all is my opinion based on my experience. Answering a question from a reply, they could, but are those APIs really so essential to create successful botting software? And yes, they are absolutely critical. The top botting software products all use Lua unlockers. I would estimate 95% or more of the bots would immediately fail due to this one solution. Teleport hacking definitely still works. I know it sounds shocking that these 2 changes would remove all botting, or over 95% of botting as we know it, and it would. This is why these 2 changes have not occurred. The revenue decline for Blizzard would be absolutely massive. I have been involved in this strategy, or industry in the past, heavily. I might be willing to do an AMA if people have interest. I was the founding CEO of Wowhead back in the day. Now, some people in the comment section actually talked about this, and they were asking how he could prove that he was actually working for Wowhead, or that he was in fact the starting founder for Wowhead. So, in this interview right here, there is, in an interview I did shortly after selling Wowhead, it makes reference to Tim Sullivan, me, aka Startup Tim. So, this guy that posted this was, it was user Startup Tim on Reddit, and this interview makes a reference to Tim Sullivan, the CEO of Wowhead at the time, as it says in the interview itself, and this guy has been building online gaming tools, softwares, resources, services, and etc. for basically all of his life. I have a huge love for gaming, especially MMORPGs, hence my deep involvement with WoW. With regards to Wowhead and the article I linked, I was hired by the purchasing company and became their CTO. We owned Wowhead, Thoughtbot, Alakazam, and more. With regards to current proof, I sell gaming software on Steam. under the developer name of Startup Tim, which should further prove things. So by clicking on this link right here, you can see on the store page for Steam that this game right here, or this thing, that the app is made by Tim Sullivan, which is also registered under Startup Tim LLC. So I have made quite a few botting videos myself, and I've actually been contacted by bot developers that give me some insight on botting, and they also tell me that if Blizzard really wanted to fix this, they really could. Most of the bots could be banned if Blizzard cared to detect them and actually do something about it. There's so many things they could do on the back end to actually prevent botting, and even though the bots can always try to circumvent, as long as Blizzard cared enough to detect them and actively ban them, they would easily be able to do so. The fact is that banning the bots would be a revenue loss for Blizzard, and by now, whenever I make botting videos myself, I always get some people commenting that they don't care about the bots. First of all, some people don't get affected by the bots at all, and also some raiders actually want the bots because then the bots can farm materials for them, and they just give them cash through RMT to get gold or to get their materials. So a lot of players are now coping with actually having bots in the game and finding reasons to support botting, which absolutely blows my mind, but this is what Blizzard is betting on. They want the player base to be more okay with botting, because that way they can keep ignoring the problem and just keep making as much money as possible from these bots. It is also absolutely ridiculous that the last time Blizzard actually talked about botting publicly was during, I think it was Classic WoW, and the last time we had a huge ban wave, or an actual ban wave of any kind, was back in Classic WoW after almost every single YouTuber, or every single person, talked about botting. There were many news coverages, there were YouTube videos, people talking about it on stream, and basically every single influencer talked about how bad the botting problem was in Classic WoW, at which point Blizzard did one big ban wave to ban a lot of the bots back then, but the thing is, they keep coming back. We can't just have one massive ban wave, and all that really tells me is that they're trying to signal boost and tell people that they care by doing something when the problem becomes massive, and then just letting it be for the rest of the time. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how they keep getting away with it, but they are. Also, when someone from the Classic WoW development team was asked about botting for Season of Mastery, and TBC Classic as well, he had this to say, and keep in mind this was when he was asked about the botting problem, why they were not banning bots, or why, if they are banning them, we are still seeing those bots in the game itself.
I see this bot, I report this bot, nothing happened. And I go back and say to the people who are working on this, like, hey, they say they saw this bot and it came back and nothing happened. Like, what can you tell me about it? And they say, like, well, we did ban that bot. When you say it came back, like, why do you think it came back? Like, well, it has the same name. Well, we banned him, so that name became available. So then they made another bot and had the same name.
So yeah, a bit of a longer video today than usual, a bit of a Solheim rant or a Solheim talk, but I really wanted to show you guys this post right here from the actual CEO of Wowhead back in the day, backing up my theory on why Blizzard are not banning bots, and why there are so many bots in the game itself. So let me know what you think down below, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, leave a like on the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more WoW content, and that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.